The presenting sponsor of Moontower Soccer is FVF Law.
To find out what makes FVF a different kind of injury law firm, you can visit fvf.law.
Hello, friends, and welcome to SWOONTOWER Soccer. My name's Mike Cragnola.
And I'm Steph Cragnola.
And we are all about the boys.
That's right. This week we are overloaded with boys.
So many boys in the house.
So many boys.
Who brought these boys here?
Oh, boy. All right, so we are covering our away match in Cincinnati, our home match against Atlanta, and we are doing a little Vancouver preview.
Yeah, we have realized that time is hard, and scheduling these opponent spotlights for these midweek games is even harder. We're trying our best, but the next midweek game is against Houston, and you know how we feel about them.
Man, we talk about these athletes, how hard the double game weeks must be for them, but What about us?
Yeah.
We have other also jobs.
Yeah.
They only have one job. No, for real though. Hug a content creator in May because boy howdy, it's a big one.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. And, the boys are doing obviously more work than we are.
Well,
wow.
we got a match, Scott. We got fit checks. We got match moods. We got goal sellies. We've got social media standouts. And we have got a preview with Michael McCall from AFTN for Vancouver this weekend. And as always, we will end with the man of my jersey.
That's right. We don't have an interview with this match, Scott, because it got real hot on Wednesday.
Yeah, it was a real hot day, and Katori stayed inside. And
safe.
She's so perfect. We are going to link her APA page in the show notes because I think y'all need to see this sweet angel dog with these big, big ears. She's a shepherd husky mix, 10 years old lady.
She's got half a skeleton costume on already with her little gray hair on her face.
She's perfect.
Yeah. Adopt this dog. Use some dog safe markings to give her the rest of her little skeleton costume. Take pictures and let us meet Katori.
Yeah.
All right, Steph. Normally we have a cool little segue with a shoom, but we don't get that now. And so we're just going straight into fit checks.
So there's something that we don't usually get for fit checks on away games, and this is a real collection of looks walking into the stadium in Cincinnati. And you can tell some of these boys come from cold climates, and you can tell some of these boys come from hot climates because there is variety in their pre-match fits.
Yeah, it feels like the segment we did last week or the week before where we're like, guess the weather.
Yep.
Based on who's wearing what.
Yeah, and I also like this because you can tell all of the pieces that are in the game closet.
Yep. Yeah, you get all of them at once.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a nice variety.
Yeah, so we've got, of course, the big cowl neck hoodie with the 3 green stripes down the side of the arms. We've got the polo top. It's white or gray with the crest on it. And these are the two main looks. And I like them. But what I like the most is the third secret option that Brad is wearing, which is a cream and mint windbreaker. Yeah,
that's the Anthem jacket. It unzips and is reversible.
Stop.
And so the inside is this color, this year's home kit color. With the away kit color that Brad's wearing out right now.
Okay. Wow. Way to be frugal, Adidas. I love it.
Shout out to Profe, who loves these jackets and always wears his Verde side out.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's sick as heck, and I like it. We also have shorts and sweatpants featured in this lineup, and both of them look really comfy cozy.
Yeah. Biru is in my preferred clothing setup here with the hoodie and shorts.
Mm-hmm.
Hoodie and shorts weather is the perfect weather.
Mm-hmm. I do want to shout out both Biru and Brad because, you take a look, third slide, CJ's got his phone in his front leg pocket, as Ashley pointed out to us, is always the case. But in the second photo, Brad has his phone in his hand. Biro doesn't have a phone noticeable at all, but they both do have their hand in their front leg pocket. So it still gives the effect of like front leg.
Go on.
No. It
All
just
right.
gives the front leg effect. We'll say that.
Let's move on to Atlanta's fit check, shall we?
Man, we're excited to talk about this one because a longtime listener, Adrienne Gandhi, has an outfit she wants us to talk about.
Yeah. Do you want to lead off with your take on CJ Faudre's outfit?
I have an apology to make.
Go on.
Kind of. For CJ. Someone asked me to rate CJ on a scale of 1 to 10, and I was not kind.
And now?
This is horrible, but if I just saw this outfit, it's like a 10 out of 10. It's a 10 out of 10 outfit. 10 out of 10 fit.
Okay.
Looks like a sexy plumber.
If there's a plumber out there with shoulders like that, tell me how you do your job.
Pipes are hard. You gotta wrench those bad boys.
Okay, before this becomes a SWOONTOWER After Dark here, let's move on.
Okay.
Just a little bit.
I'm just saying, I think plumbers are probably fit.
I love Diego Rubio's shirt.
Yes, same.
I think Diego Rubio's shirt is the fit of the day.
Mm.
And it looked even better in person.
Yes.
Because we saw him after the match wearing this while watching the unified team, and he looked awesome.
Yeah, it looks great. I will say, I think that Guilherme Biru has my fit of the day. The plain black t-shirt. The Brett Goldstein, Roy Kent look.
I was going to say, no, he's just wearing your fit.
Okay.
There's a difference between your fit of the day and your fit.
Interesting. I don't see the difference.
Okay. Svatak, again, stealing like every 17-year-old boy's outfit.
Yep.
T-shirt and shorts. But like, I think it's so fun. I don't want him to wear pants ever again.
Same.
Yeah.
I don't think he will.
I hope not.
I also thought that he had on a Pope shirt.
A Pope shirt?
Yeah, I thought his shirt was talking about the Pope, but it's not. I can't read what it says, but I did think it said Pope something. Pope Francis is what I thought it said.
You thought it was you thought it was Pope Francis merch?
Yeah.
With just like the bottom of his chin?
Yeah.
Right.
I wasn't really looking at the face on the t-shirt. Just like, I don't have very good eyes.
Pope Francis merch. If you are selling Pope Francis merch,
I'm sure it's out
Steph.
there. I'm sure it's out there. I want to hear your thoughts. Before I get to the thoughts, I think this picture of Owen is so cute because he looks happy.
Yes.
And it's a good shirt. Pretty straightforward, nothing crazy, but he just looks happy, and that's nice. I need your opinion on Jean's outfit.
Yeah, so I think Jean looks like a model. I don't think he looks like a soccer player. I think he looks like he is modeling this fit. Like, it looks like it's cropped because in the bottom right, it shows who like each piece is by and how much you can buy it for in like GQ.
Yeah.
His face is like he is serving a look, and the fit is like a fashion version of clothes that someone would wear.
I see. It's like on Project Runway when they say make something that normal people wear.
Right. But then
and these
they
designers
do
have
this.
no idea what that means.
Yeah.
I also like how he's holding his toiletry bag like it's a runway accessory.
Right. And like, if this is on Guilherme Biru or like Julio, it's a crop top, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's how it was supposed to be worn, is as a crop top.
Interesting.
But John just isn't. He's not as vertically blessed as those boys.
Yeah. His penny is a dress.
That's right.
All in all, pretty decent warm weather fits.
Yeah.
I'll say hot weather fits.
I was
Hot
going to say, it
weather
was
fits.
pretty hot.
It was pretty hot. So, are you ready to get some match moods?
Yeah, let's talk about some match moods.
Okay.
The first match of the week was Cincinnati.
Yeah, and you've got a funny note here that I
Yeah.
want you to hit before mine.
Yeah, so we watched the game out and about with friends, and something that really hit me is in Austin, soccer is truly a mainstream sport. And I mean this with all of the love and positivity in the whole world. There were so many opinions on the game and the team without any knowledge of what was happening. And it was awesome. Like, one of the best things about sports is that anyone can come and watch and like have a feeling and a take, whether they have been watching the game forever or this is their first like season watching soccer ever.
Yep.
And I think that is universally true of other sports, but hasn't always been true of soccer. And I think we are finally at a point in America where that is, at least in Austin, maybe not America, but at least in Austin, we are at a point where that is true.
Yeah.
MLS is a mainstream sport for people in Austin.
Love that.
And that rules.
Yeah. You're yelling so much.
I'm just
And
so stoked on it.
No, I mean that positively. Like you can clearly tell how exciting this is for you. It was less exciting for me because, man, it's annoying when people yell and they don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah, and I guess to me, like that is prime sports.
Sure.
Is like a bunch of people yelling about stuff that they don't know anything about.
Oh boy, I was so annoyed. I was like, you're harshing my vibe.
It's awesome.
Mm.
Welcome to sports, baby.
I hate them. But anyway, it didn't matter because after the match, we got to celebrate my favorite doctor.
Ooh.
My favorite doctor in the whole wide world.
Sorry, Mikey.
Oh, yeah, sorry, Mikey.
Sorry to our college best friend, Mike, who is also a doctor, and we have known for a very long time.
Okay, one of my two favorite doctors in the world, Dr. Jessica Luther.
Let's go.
So Jessica graduated with her PhD. Those of you who don't know Dr. Jessica Luther, she's like the smartest person.
And she's so sweet.
She's so fun and funny and manages to be fun and funny while researching a really volatile and heavy subject that's doing so much good in the world, and it's so important. And I just am so proud of you.
Yeah, so if you are a longtime listener of SWOONTOWER, you know that we have had Dr. Jessica Luther on the show before. She was not a doctor then. Do we have to go back and edit the podcast and say doctor every time we would have said Jessica?
Oh, no.
And then re-upload it?
No.
Okay.
Time is a flat circle.
Okay, great. Next time we have her on the show, though,
Schrodinger's PhD.
Dr. Jessica.
On that episode, she exists as a doctor and as a doctoral candidate.
At the same time.
Yeah. So that's it for Cincinnati. Bye.
So I think Cincinnati was another one of these games where, like, it just feels like we're cursed.
Oh my gosh, I know. Let's keep talking about the curse.
The more people believe in the curse, the less power it has because we've identified it and we've named it.
Yes. Last night, we played Atlanta at home, and it started off the night. Our friends Jenna and Tim, who are lovely and amazing, came to visit from Atlanta, and they were there in their Atlanta jerseys. And Mike and I rode our bikes. They were staying at the hotel across from Hop Squad, so they walked to Hop Squad and then to the stadium from there. And we met at the stadium, and they were like, y'all will never believe what just happened. And we were like, what? And they were like, someone screamed at us. Do you know what this guy said? They used swear words to say it. And we were like, oh my gosh, no, what? And Tim said, this guy said, welcome to Austin.
It's so funny.
And,
The way he built this up is like, this MFer.
Yeah. And it just was they were so thrilled to meet so many of y'all and had such a warm welcome. And it just like really reinforces the drink 90 drink mentality that, you know, we've gotten from Minnesota and that we try to pass on to anyone who's coming to our stadium.
Almost anyone.
And it was just so nice. Like, it was so fun for them to experience that in real time. And so thanks, Austin, for being so cool.
Yeah. Great work, everyone.
Something else reinforcing how cool of a culture we have.
Yeah. Good.
Thank you. We ran into Danny's parents, Katia and Hector, in the concourse before the match. And like, it was the forecast was 108 degrees.
Yep.
Danny is hurt. He's not playing. And they were still there to cheer on the team. They were grabbing empanadas the same as we were before the match because they're so good. If y'all haven't had the empanadas in the stadium, do it.
Yeah. Swing by Little Patagonia.
Man.
Get the choripan. For me, the choripan is like the peak. The empanadas are good.
I think the empanadas are perfect because sometimes I don't want like big food. I want little food.
Yeah. If you want a lot of little food.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you can get a lot of little food.
Yeah. The empanadas are a good move for that.
But yeah, it was just so nice to see them supporting the team, supporting the club. And yeah, it just reminds us that this is a family event and the families that we've seen built in Austin have so much connection to the team. And the team is doing such a good job to reinforce that community.
Oh, thanks for that segue. Because the next thing I want to talk about is the owner of Sam's Barbecue and his like the little boy that came out with him to do the heartbeat, and the kid was trying his best.
Oh boy.
It's a complicated rhythm when you're like shorter than the drum. And shout out to Kurt from La Murga for keeping it all on track. Shout out to the owner of Sam's Barbecue and this little boy for trying his best. So adorable, so cute. Had me giggling the whole time.
Yeah.
Love to see it.
You know what else I love to see?
What's that?
Verdissimo. I think Verdissimo might be my MVP of the season.
Wow.
He's so funny.
Because of his sparkly mask?
Well, so I don't know if we talked about that last week. He does have one of his masks is full of rhinestones.
Yeah, it's fully bejeweled.
It's incredible. And not
so
just
good.
because of that. He was hamming it up. He's doing such a great job over in 108 and 107 and
I assume everywhere else in the stadium.
yeah, he probably makes his way
We just can only see him
around.
when he's here.
It's just it's been so fun to get to like see more of the Verdissimo lore.
Yeah, Tim and Jenna got their picture taken with him.
And like Tim got to ask him because they're big wrestling fans. And so they got to ask about his schedule and, you know, his tour and all of the work that he's doing with Austin FC and beyond. And he was just so kind and it was really fun.
Yeah, love it.
Great job, Verdissimo.
Speaking of great jobs.
Oh, no.
As y'all know, we sit right in front of the subs. And so one of our favorite things is watching what people do as they warm up.
Mm-hmm.
This note just says CJ Birdbath.
Y'all, CJ Fotre. Immediately upon entering the sub zone, takes a water bottle and he just starts squirting himself with it. Like a little birdie in a bath. He just was squirting it on his shins and then squirting it on his knees and then doing little shakes and then like squirting it on his
forearms and his like face. He just took a little bird bath with his water bottle.
Yep.
It was great. It was very hot.
Yep. Warm.
It was so funny.
Also, it's just again watching these guys as the game goes by. Diego Rubio around the 36th minute when Ilie almost scored and didn't because of the curse. Diego was so mad, like he was so frustrated in a way that like he just was pulling so hard for Ilie in that moment and the team, and like you can see how invested they are. Nico Dubarsarski so invested in the match, so invested in the supporter section.
And the kids as he walked by from the bench to warm up, like every single kid who like called out to him, he turned around and like gave him a high five or like interacted with him. So cute.
Yeah, he's amazing. And then we have one final note for this match, and I think it's a really important thing, especially for me to call out, because I had mentioned a couple weeks ago when I was on Moon Tower, I wasn't super sold on Mirto Zuni's attitude. Like, I don't know how maybe performative or tantrumy the outbursts after he doesn't score might be under the surface. And so when Mike called this moment out last night, I was really pleased.
Yeah, so at one point I heard in 107 Nico Esteves yell, Mirtu! Like at the top of his lungs to like pull Izuni, like pull his focus, and like he directed him upfield. And like Izuni threw out a thumbs up and like an apology as he was like he got on his horse and like started running as hard as he could to get back into position. And it was just really cool to see like he respects and listens to the coach and like wants to do the right thing.
Yep.
And so it really makes me feel like his frustration is like A, internal, and B, like real.
Yes.
And
that's what I was thinking too. Like it feels sincere.
Yes, that's the word.
Because he just wants to do good.
Yeah. He wants to do good. He wants to score goals and break records. So far, not a lot of records, but we'll see.
Not a lot of goals. You know where we did have some goals?
Where?
In the unified match.
We had 2 goals in the unified match.
Yeah.
One goal, have fun. The other goal, celebrate the unified team. Oh. Third goal, score goals.
Yeah. Gosh, I love any chance we get to watch a unified match, we will take. It was so fun to get to watch them. They are good at soccer.
Yeah, and like that was the best part is God, I love sports so much.
Mm-hmm.
We were next to Dr. Jessica, who just kept saying the same thing all night. Like, oh my God, I love sports. This is the best.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
It was also great because Tim and Jenna, even though they were in their Atlanta jerseys, could join us in the supporter section to have fun through that match. And it really felt
unified.
Yes, thank you. For lack of a better word, it felt unified.
Now, I don't know if they were supposed to, or if we
Mike
flexed a little bit.
I
did ask for permission from a lot of people. And it was like, I guess.
Yeah, as long as they're cool.
Yeah.
They were cool. But it was great to see Ilie. Ilie is their like, I don't know, honorary coach, hype man in the pre-match huddle. When
at the half.
Yeah, when LJ scored, Nico Esteves was there hugging him. Like, it was just so fun. We took note of all the players who stuck around for it.
That we saw.
Yeah.
Important to call out that, like, we were in the supporter section, so if we missed someone and y'all saw someone that we didn't, please tell us. We just love to know.
Yeah, we're not, like, keeping track, but, like, it was so nice to see so many first-team players.
Yeah, like DPs, bench guys, supplemental guys. Like, it was all over the board, and it was awesome.
Bukhari was sitting watching BHI. Robert Taylor.
Yeah, even though he's injured, he was there.
Diego Rubio, Brad, and Steph standing next to each other, a little goalkeeper union.
You think they were taking notes? Because, like, that
yeah.
unified keeper for Austin was so good. It felt like an Austin FC match.
It really did.
The super strong goalkeeping, and then like
chance after chance after chance after chance.
really, really like talented players up front that just weren't getting connected with. We got like a goal, like the one goal that was scored was like a super good team goal that like everybody was there in the right place.
Pieces
and
just fell into place.
LJ just buried it. Like, it was a really good time.
Yeah. Svatak, Ilie, Micah, Julio, Mirto, Riley Thomas. And then something that stood out to us was how nice it was to see Owen coming out with a bunch of Atlanta players.
Yeah, for folks who don't know, Owen Wolf was in the Atlanta United Academy when his brother Tyler was playing for Atlanta. And if it weren't for a broken back, Owen Wolf may still be playing for Atlanta today because Josh had just been hired by Austin, and he and his wife and Gavin moved to Austin to coach, but left Owen with his grandparents in Atlanta to play for the academy. And then he got injured and came home to like rehab and be with family while he recovered, and started rehabbing with Austin.
Right.
And that's how we ended up with him.
Yeah.
And so like seeing him keep those connections with Atlanta United, even after moving.
And even after Tyler's not even there anymore, like just.
Right. It's been 5 years since he was there, and that's like literally a quarter of his life.
Yep.
But
it's just
still, they were all really tight, and it was cool to see.
It's just one of those reminders at how unified this league is and can be, and the relationships that these kids are forming and how long they last. It's just really cool. Yeah. It was cool to see.
Overall, massive success of a unified match.
Huge shout out to Gisela, Trennis, the entire 4ATX Foundation team.
Yeah, really, really great time. Really fun. And shout out to the club for like keeping the stadium open and letting us like support and celebrate these kids and this game.
Everyone in the supporter section who stayed, everyone around the stadium who stayed, thank you.
Yeah.
I think it should be required.
Amen.
Reminder of what sports is all about.
Also, this draw felt a lot better than the draw that had just happened.
Yeah.
So, like, I left the stadium feeling good.
Me too.
When I could have left feeling bad.
Well, let's talk about our goal sellies to feel good again.
Yeah.
So, Brendan Vasquez. Ripper of a goal. Oh my gosh. This goal. My God.
Good Lord.
Good Lord. This goal, Selly, though, it was a little fist pump. It was a little run to the corner. It was a little Bureau up on his back. It was a lot of kisses from Julio, which is the only reason this is getting a 6 out of 10.
Wow. I love Brandon Vasquez's goal celebration.
But he didn't even do the Superman.
He did. It just
took forever.
Late. Yeah. I'm fine with it. Give me that 7.5.
Okay.
That's the bare minimum for the BV9.
Okay.
Ultimate Warrior thing, you know?
Yeah. Let's talk about LJ's.
God, what a banger celebration.
Yep.
So he rips this goal right in front of the keeper, like just buries it behind him. So sick. And then doesn't even like wheel
pause.
away, just turns his back and drops like the biggest Archer celebration I've ever seen.
Ever.
At first I thought he was dabbing, like I couldn't tell what was happening, and then on the replay from Austin's socials, like it's clear it's this like huge arrow celly.
What I loved the most out of it, 10 out of 10, by the way.
9.5 out of 10.
Okay.
It's not a backflip.
Okay, 10 out of 10 for me. But what I loved and what really bumps it over the top is that he didn't run. You mentioned it, but like he didn't go to a corner. He didn't move at all. It was just immediate Archer.
Boom.
And I wish more players would stand their ground and celebrate. Do it in the middle. Make the cameras catch you.
Amen.
Yeah.
All right. You want to do some social media standouts and then hit an ad break?
Let's do it. Because we've got another congrats for Trennis. Double congrats week for Trennis this week. He won the Mentor of the Year for the Austin 40 Under 40 Awards.
Yeah, good for him. Crazy that he's under 40.
Congratulations, Trennis. You're such a bully.
Speaking of bullying, help. MLS is attacking my wallet.
Oh, yeah.
Yo, this Pride top that just dropped today is rad.
It is so great, and I am so going to buy it.
So good. I cannot wait. Ugh.
Give it to me.
Yes. Also me.
Also me.
God, it's so good.
Yeah, it's about time that they had a good Pride jersey.
Honestly, it's been a while.
Yeah.
This one is one.
You know what else it's time for?
What's that?
Hey, that was good.
That was good. That was
Thank
good.
Jimmy, it's Jimmy time.
It's Uncle Jimmy time. That's right. Shout out Jimmy Farkerlin, who has joined the ranks of Uncle Club. Welcome, my friend. It is the best being an uncle. You are going to have so much fun. Just like it's not your kid, but like you get to party with it until you're done. It's the best, man. Congratulations. Being an uncle rules.
Yeah.
All right. The last thing that I want to talk about is how dope it is from the club that they gave the unified team the same hype photo set as the first team gets. They got the little, like, the placard hanging up to show the match. They've got the jersey hanging up. They've got the walkout pics. Like, oh, it's so good. Like, when things are going bad, I have realized that I become a huge 4ATX Foundation fan,
Mm-hmm.
and it really helps. So, like, if you are feeling some type of way about the results on the field, get involved. Like,
Yes.
the community is here for you to find joy in supporting Austin FC in whatever manner, or like representing your passion for the club in a way that can be positive and supportive and uplifting of the community. 4ATX Foundation, support the heck out of them. What they're doing is incredible. It feels really good to know that, like, this is what the club is doing with your season ticket money.
Yes. Yep. Nothing more to be said there. Let's take an ad break.
SWOONTOWER Soccer is brought to you by our friends at FVF Law, the official injury lawyers of Austin FC.
FVF is a different kind of personal injury law firm dedicated to community, transparency, and client education. And they have their own podcast called Summary Judgment. Check it out wherever you get your podcasts.
You can go to fvf.law to find out what makes FVF a different kind of injury law firm and why understanding your legal options can dramatically change the outcome of a case. Once again, that's fvf.law.
Our premier sponsor is McGuire Woods Consulting, helping clients in the public affairs space from lobbying at the local, statewide, and federal levels to a digital and communications campaign across the country.
McGuire Woods Consulting has offices in 10 MLS cities, but only advertises on this podcast because reasons. That's what we have in the thing. It's because we're going to advance in the Open Cup next week.
Yep.
Contact our friends at McGuire Woods Consulting at mwcllc.com for more information.
Okay, so this week Vancouver is coming to Austin, and we're hoping to sweat them out of all the goals that they scored the last time these two teams faced up. And we are much more excited to see Michael McCall than we are to see Vancouver this weekend. So Michael McCall from AFTN, you can find them at aftn.ca. They've been covering the Whitecaps for literally ever. And Michael was really great last time he was on, even if he did text me in the middle of the match being mean. Thanks, Michael, for coming back.
It was like the most politely, like, British trash talk. Like,
Oops, guess we didn't have to worry about that boring 0-0 draw, huh?
Yeah. I only talked to you there once. I didn't want to be horrible right away.
Well, we're eagerly anticipating, I think, maybe the end of this match already. So obviously where we left off, 5-1 crushing from Vancouver about a month ago. And since then, Austin FC has continued to maybe score a goal, one, if we're lucky. And Vancouver has continued to score so many.
yeah. Like, since we played, Vancouver has drawn 1-1, 1-1, and then drew again. So there's 4 wins and 2 draws since the last time we met. Austin would really love results like that.
What does it feel like? What does
Yeah.
it feel like, Michael?
Well, I mean, don't forget the 2 big wins over Miami as well. Just
Oh, that was in the
That's
Dubs.
great.
oh,
Yeah.
was that in
Okay,
that?
okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wow,
yeah.
is it that? I all the games are a blur just now. So it's like I genuinely don't know how many games we've
So
played.
many wins, I can't keep track of them all.
Yeah, oh God, it's just so hard to know what wins you're talking about.
No, it's been nice. We're riding the wave, no pun intended for Whitecaps, but it's like we're not used to this. We know the bubble's going to burst at some point. Jesper Sorensen knows it's not sustainable. He said it's not sustainable. And we have a tricky spell in the summer. We've got a lot of road matches. We've got players that's going to be away at the Gold Cup. So it's going to test us, but we're just loving every minute of it just now. And if it can continue until June 2nd, I'll be very happy.
Yeah, I am rooting for Vancouver on June 1st. And I guess every other match other than the 17th, this Saturday, because at this point it's early in the season still, but it feels like y'all have a 10-point lead in the table. The goal differential, you are plus 21 on us. Does it get boring celebrating Brian White goals?
No, no. I'll be honest, and I'll say I was really disappointed he didn't take the penalty in the Austin game, so he could have had a 5-goal haul.
Mhm.
But he's never scored a penalty for us,
Wow.
and I think he wants it to be that way. That all his goals are not penalties.
Oh,
Wow.
interesting.
So he just hands the ball over, and we're like, "What are you doing? You can have 5 goals. You
Actually,
can set records."
I have an important Brian White question. Is his goal celebration the same every time?
No. I mean, it's quite a boring celebration normally from him. He just kind of runs away. But occasionally he does something a little bit different. Some kid was talking to him about something, so he had done I can't even remember what it's called, but he did some kind of fun celebration. So
That's cute.
it's not always the same, but it's
Sure
nothing
felt like it.
spectacular. Like
Yeah.
at the start of the year, the guys were doing like wrestling celebrations from the 90s and the Attitude Era because they'd been watching that in pre-season down in Spain. But he wasn't one of the guys that was doing it. It was like Ryan Gold and other folk that were doing it, and so he hadn't done one. He's a very quiet guy. He doesn't really like the limelight. I asked him, and he's like, it's what it is. I know it's my job and I have to talk, but he's happy just to kind of do what he does and no one talk to him. But every day it feels like some media from somewhere in North America is wanting to speak to him right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the opposite of everyone I've ever met from New Jersey. I don't understand. Like, I don't get it. You look at him and he looks like an 80s movie, like bully. You know what I mean? Like, he's got this look of like a high school jock type. Like, he's playing opposite like Molly Ringwald, and he's like mean to her, and then like to find out that he's just this little quiet, nice guy. Like,
He's got a good
about
sense of humor. Like when he signed a new contract here, one of the journalists had said, "Oh, does this make you a West Coast guy now?" And he's like, "No."
Yeah, that feels right.
Yeah.
My dude's probably missing pizza. That's got to be the problem, right?
Yeah. But I mean, last 2 years we've said, "Oh, it's been a career year. I don't know that he can keep this going." And then he's just doing better and better. And if he's not playing for the US national team at the Gold Cup, then I don't know what's going on.
Speaking of another guy who probably should be playing for the US at the Gold Cup, ex-Austin FC player, can we talk about Lil Sebastian Berhalter, who I guess
Yes.
now,
Not so little anymore.
yeah, now we can't call him. We used to call him Lil Sebastian, like from Parks and Rec.
We can still call him that. Still a little guy.
Yeah, but he's like a full-grown adult man out there, bossing the field.
He's a little guy.
I know some folk refer to him as Baby Berhalter as well, but
That feels
I mean,
worse.
Yeah, like he's been phenomenal. He should be in the squad. I would put a case for Tristan Blackman as well to be in the squad.
Mhm.
It's like this is the ideal tournament for these guys. Now it's going to hit us hard if that happens, and part of me doesn't want them to go, but Sebastian deserves it. Like he has got better and better every single year that he's been here. When we got him from Austin, I was like, oh, I don't know. I'm not sure why we've done this. He hasn't really stood out. And then he didn't really nail down like a regular starter's job. And somebody sent me a message after we had beaten Miami in the semi saying, because obviously, if anyone doesn't know, Berhalter is going to miss that final from yellow card accumulation. So
Brutal.
someone had sent me a message saying, 2 years ago, if I'd said that's going to be a massive blow not having Sebastian Berhalter for the Champions Cup final, you'd have a lot of questions about that text just in general. But the fact that he's like one of your key guys, you would definitely be saying, I don't know what's happened here, but he has been phenomenal. The one thing he was kind of lacking was maybe getting the goals and the assists. And now it's just come in spades this year. It's just been like incredible. And like it's a massive blow not having him on June 1st.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
crazy.
And it's just like, ugh, it just feels so trash because I feel like he really got y'all there. And the fact that yellow cards don't reset
in a normal space,
yeah.
right? Like so annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I would say though is the way he reacted to that booking, some players would have crumbled.
Yeah.
And that just shows the mental strength that he's got. And he went out in that second half and he basically said, that's my cup final.
Yeah.
And he bossed that second half. And like if you were talking about one player coming out of that game, it was him that you're talking about, and it's not Messi, who was just invisible.
Yeah. Shut down. Entirely shut down by your midfield. Can I ask a question about Andres Cubas and where he fits in the team this year? Because I know, like last time we talked, we were hard pressed to find a better defensive midfielder in the league. What is that looking like for y'all in a now crowded midfield in 2025?
I mean, him and Berhalter are your two names that you pencil in to the midfield. And then we've got a good supporting cast that can slot in beside it if we're doing the three-man midfield, if we're doing the four, there's other options as well. But those two are definitely your first names that you're writing down. And Kubis is just, he's phenomenal. And the games where he's picked up an injury, I mean, he's a card machine as well. There's going to be a suspension coming pretty soon for him because he can't go through the amount of games needed to get that rescinded. So he'll be missing something, but he's so crucial because he breaks everything up.
Yeah.
And he can be box to box when he needs to be. He's a destroyer when he needs to be. Like he handled Messi in those two games like so well, and like Messi was chirping away at him constantly. And a friend of mine, one of the journalists at training the other day, had said, "Oh, do you still have Messi in your pocket, Andres?" And he's like, "Yeah. Do you want to come and speak to him? See if he says hello." And he doesn't speak much English, so that for him to come up with a fun joke like that was like tremendous.
Yeah, that's
But,
great.
I mean, he basically, in the big games, he rises to the occasion. So with Berhalter out, he's now the massive midfielder against Cruz Azul. I know we're getting way ahead, and you're not here to talk about Cruz Azul, but we need him in the team. And if he's not playing, the whole midfield is very much worse.
Yeah. I guess I have kind of a follow-up to that. Taking it to this weekend specifically, where are the cracks? Because, I haven't done deep dives into every Vancouver game to see them as clearly as you have. Obviously, the national take is Vancouver.
Yeah,
winning.
impossible to like ever defeat.
But
So
we see the cracks even in wins. More than anyone else. So like, can you tell us those secrets?
Yeah.
Give us
Yeah.
a little
Nico-
tiny shred of hope.
Yeah, Nico isn't listening. He's got a game to prepare for. This is just us,
Just
Michael.
us.
Just you and me.
That's
And
fine.
Steph on the call.
I'll share everything. I think you're getting us in a good week because we didn't play midweek. And that sounds crazy. But every point we've dropped in the league this year, it's been 1 game weeks. Our loss
Okay.
to Chicago, we had players away in international duty, but it was a 1 game week. Our draws with LA, Chicago, and Toronto, not Chicago, whoever it was, St. Louis, so many games. They were all 1 game weeks. So I actually asked Jesper Sonson that after the draw on Sunday, and he's like, it's a good question. And it does feel that when they're not playing 2 games, the levels dip because they've got into such a routine that now training this week, I went today and someone went yesterday, and the feedback was it was very intense. So they were playing as if it was like games to try and get that.
Keep that up.
But I mean, that has been a weak point. So I mean, you could benefit from that.
Yeah.
Elsewhere, goalkeeper, like if Brandon Vasquez takes any more free kicks like that, I'm not sure Yohei Takaoka's getting over to that. But as we were talking about before, I don't know many goalkeepers would get over to that. But our goalkeeper is, it's harsh to say the weakest link. It's just he's somebody that can make a mistake, as goalkeepers do. But then he can come up with a 90th minute point blank save to earn a point against LAFC, which was like, I still don't know how. I know I can understand how he got to the ball. I can't understand how he tipped it over the bar from that range. So he can do things like that as well. Our fullbacks are a little bit beat up. Tate Johnson's had a broken wrist from Redondo standing on him in the first leg of the Miami game. He's now got a sore shoulder as well. I think the same arm from landing heavily on the turf against LAFC. So he's a bit beat up. Sam Adekugbe, who would be the guy that would be left back and would have been the starting left back, you would have thought at the start of the season, he's had hamstring issues and quad issues, and just every time he's back, something happens and then he's kind of a bit banged up again. So I don't know which one of those is going to start, but whichever one does start is probably not going to be fully fit. And on the right wing, Eddie Aracampo didn't have a great time against LAFC, but I would say that's been his only bad game this year.
I was going to say, he had a pretty good game against us about a month ago.
Yes. So, I mean, that might just be a one-off from him, but he looked tired because he's been playing every single minute because Matthias Laborda was injured. But the bad news for you is Matthias Laborda is now back training and should be in the squad. So Campo might get a rest. So, I mean, fullbacks could be the weakness, but that can also be our strength because we're obviously very good on our wing play.
Yeah. What are you going to do when Ryan Gauld comes back? Do you think we could just write the league and ask for Vancouver to play with 12?
Oh, that would be nice.
At this point, like, we all want to see it happen, right? We all want to see, other than the 17th, we all want to see Vancouver win the Shield, I think. If we can, it should be a team with the history that y'all have.
Yeah. The thing with Ryan Gauld is and I hate to say this, I don't think we need to worry about that aspect anytime soon. He is just, he's not having setbacks, but he's just not turning the corner. And Axel Schuster said in a radio interview, he's our sporting director, for those that don't know, that it's highly unlikely he'll make the final, even in the squad. And that we thought was a guarantee just a few weeks ago. We're like, oh, even if he doesn't make the semi, he'll be there for the final. But I don't know what's happening. He's just feeling pain. He was just on the treadmill today. He's not even taking part in training. I don't know when he's going to come back. When he does come back, it's probably going to be when lots of guys are away on Gold Cup. So it'll be easier to slot him in.
Mhm.
The tough time will be August when everyone's back. Hopefully, everyone's fully fit, and it's then 1 game weeks. How do you keep that squad happy? How do you get everyone playing to their strengths? Because right now they know if they don't play 1 game, they're starting the next, and they
Yeah.
can be at their top levels. And then you're going to be hitting the most important part of the season, and you're going to have players that's not at their top level.
All right. For the folks at home, what is the vibe like in Vancouver right now following this team? Like what is the fan experience like? What are the folks around town saying?
Well, you're seeing more Whitecaps, like hats, jerseys, and that's pleasing to see. I was speaking to one of the Whitecap staff today, and they had said they'd passed a building site and wearing a Whitecaps hat, and someone was having a discussion with them about the Champions Cup final, and it's like, wow. So you're seeing a lot more of that. There is a buzz. The crowds are going up. Folk will point and say, well, you're still not selling out because you could sell out 27,000. And we just got 22 on Mother's Day there against LAFC. That there's still a difference between cheering the team on and going to see them in person here.
Mhm.
Vancouver's a strange market. It's a place, and it's not just for soccer, it's for everything, concerts, other sports. It's a very much a walk-up market. Folk will decide the day of the game, oh, I think I'll go to the game today. But there is a buzz. Part of the issue, though, is the whole Champions Cup run has been on a streaming service called One Soccer that doesn't have a lot of viewers. So you haven't got people that can follow it. The games aren't on the radio here.
Really?
They're on a radio station's website, but they're not
Mm.
on the. You can't be driving in your car and suddenly tune into the game.
Hmm.
And they used to be, but there's that. I guess it wasn't worth them doing it because they weren't getting the listeners, and I understand that. But it's like it's tough. You're trying to sell a team that's doing well, and even the league games
Or
are
on
on
a
Apple.
Yeah, they're a private streaming service that you
Yeah.
have to pay for additional. Yeah.
So it's really hard to follow the team if you're not a hardcore fan that wants to spend money on streaming services. So
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
does impact it a little bit.
Uh, y'all are overperforming your expected goals. You are overperforming expected goals allowed. You're killing the league with the same roster last year that like limped into the playoffs. When are you building the Jesper Sorensen statue outside of the stadium? Like, is
Oh,
that the vibe? Is it like, is everyone convinced it's him?
yeah. If he delivers the Champions Cup on June 1st, it's like he deserves everything that's coming his way. Now, when he was hired and everyone had no idea who he was, there's a quote from Axel Schuster that I looked and dug out recently because he said, oh, he's a guy that comes in places and has immediate results. Nobody even, that didn't
Yeah.
register with anyone.
Right.
And then
Who
someone,
would believe that? Like,
yeah,
Yeah.
someone
just reading
mentioned
it.
that. And I was like, I don't even remember him saying that. And it's like, oh, no, he did. And he also said that he's a guy that can come in and instantly make players better. And again, I don't remember him saying that either, but he did, and it's proved true. Now it makes you wonder why he's in Vancouver and why he got sacked by Brøndby.
Yeah.
I mean, he got sacked by Brøndby rather unfairly, I feel, and he feels that as well. So he's got a little bit of a chip on the shoulder from that. But he's going to be a guy that's going to be hard to keep hold of. Like if he wins us anything this year, major, then I think we could lose him to a European team.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if not a European team, there are other MLS clubs who are looking for managers all the time in maybe more European desirable spaces, right? Thinking specifically of LAFC and Steve Cherundolo leaving at the end of the year, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, they did get our assistant coach, and they've got a couple of our former players down there now. As long as he doesn't go to LA Galaxy. And
Amen.
I don't want Greg Vanny here. So
Amen.
Not doing like mom swap.
no, I mean their game last night was something.
Oh my
I
gosh.
didn't see the first half. I put it on at halftime and I saw the score and I was like, oh wow. Then I watched a bit the second half and it's like, I have to keep watching this. It's a car crash.
We like being in Central Time really makes it tough to watch anything at all.
Go to the stadium, yeah.
When you go to the
Yeah.
stadium. So I had seen the score when our game started and I was like, oh my God, is Galaxy gonna do it? It was like
Are they finally
the
gonna win?
70th minute, I think. And it was like whatever it was, I was like, they might finally win. And then at our halftime, I checked again and I was like, no.
Yes.
Yeah, incredible.
Like it, oh, yeah.
Well,
I mean,
and the
I
same can be said for Vancouver last night, right?
Yes.
20 minutes, or I guess last week. 20
Yeah,
minutes into
against
the
LA.
match, you went down with a Denny Bouanga penalty, and then the comeback starts immediately.
Yeah. And see, that's the thing as well, because we came away from that, like even at 2-0 down against a team that has been our nemesis.
Yeah.
Somehow we've managed to play 12 times in the last 2 years, which is crazy in itself. Every single competition, apart from the Canadian Championship, we've ended up playing LA. And it's like, at no time in those previous 12 meetings, if we went 2 down, would I have been like, oh, we're going to come back. But I fully expected us to not only come back, but win that. And every single person, player, coach, fans, media, came away from BC Place disappointed that we only got a 2-2 draw against LAFC after being 2 down.
Amazing.
Amazing.
I don't know what's happened.
Because like looking at that scoreline, right? That's a draw that feels like a win.
Mhm.
Like for everyone else, right?
But we
You
dominated
score that
that
70th
second half.
minute, you know?
Yeah, I mean
Wild.
they should have won it with that last kick that Takaoka put over. But like aside from that, what happened was after 20 minutes, they were like, okay, job's done. We're sitting back. And they had 11 men in the penalty box defending corners and stuff, which was crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. To pin that team back that hard.
Yeah,
Really
it's-
special.
They
Yeah.
were like, we don't know what to do. We've run out of ideas. And that's what, especially with our wingers, I mean, for the game on Saturday, like in all seriousness, it is going to be tough for Austin if we play like we did in the game in April. If our wingers are on, they're kind of unplayable. And it doesn't matter which 2 wingers are in there. It's like they're just phenomenal and they're interchangeable. And if one's having a bad game, you just take him off and you put the other guy on and then he lights it up. And that's been a big strength of ours because they're getting past men, they're getting brought down for free kicks, for penalties, they're sending great balls in for Brian White. If you can mark Brian White to stop him getting headers, then you've got a chance. But like LA just left him to get 2 free headers on Sunday. And if you do that, he's going to bury those. It's when he's got the ball at his feet that he's not maybe as sharp. So that would maybe be another kind of little chink in the armor to try and make sure he's not got unmarked headers in the box.
Yeah. We got our work cut out for us this weekend, but we really appreciate you coming in and hanging out and talking soccer with us. Other than Saturday, best of luck to Vancouver. Tell everybody again where they can find all the work that you do and listen to your show.
So you can find it on aftn.ca. We're the longest running English language podcast in Canada, soccer podcast. We'll have lots of stuff. I'm going down to Mexico. I just booked my flight down
Let's
yesterday.
go.
Haven't booked a flight home because they're really expensive. I'll figure that out at some point. But at least I'm going to the game, and that's the main thing. So yeah, follow our stuff on the site.
Perfect.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Michael.
Always a pleasure. And hopefully maybe in the playoffs.
Fingers crossed. Thank you so much again, Michael, for coming on to chat with us. It's always a joy, even if you're probably going to crush us this weekend.
We don't know. I think we're going to win 2-1.
Okay. You always think that.
Yeah. It's because we're the best team in the world.
Yeah,
even
we
if
are.
we're not playing like it.
It's true.
All right, Steph, I want to know who is the man of your jersey.
Who's the man of my jersey this week? The man of my jersey is Eddie Tidings, the
Nice.
keeper for the Austin FC Unified team, who did a banger of a job.
Man, I'm like in my head, I have a hard time, and this is no word of a lie. I have a hard time remembering whether the save was a Brad Stuver banger of a save or an Eddie Tidings save. Like,
We could probably play them back and say like blur out the face and be like, was this Brad or is this Eddie?
the kick save, God, he was so good.
Yeah.
It was a really, really like massive performance.
Yep. Incredible job.
Nice. All right. As always, please remember, rate, review, subscribe.
Share.
Yes, tell a friend.
Tell an enemy.
And we will see you next week.
I love you.
We love you.
Bye.
Bye.
I will marry Chewy's
Yeah.
because they love Chew Boom Boom sauce.